Order of business or promised legislation?
Promised legislation.
Promised legislation.
Taoiseach, you will be aware that the Programme for Government committed to a second cath lab at University Hospital Waterford, and you will also know that there was a report by Professor Harity which did not make a positive recommendation. I'm sure you're also aware that since then a mobile lab has been deployed at the hospital, and my understanding is that that mobile lab is to come out of the hospital next week. It was deployed for a number of months. The wait times for diagnostic testing have dramatically been reduced because of the deployment of this mobile lab. The problem is that for those then who are tested and diagnosed and need an intervention, the wait times for interventions has increased. And the reason why it's increased is because the temporary mobile lab cannot carry out intervention work. And all of the data shows that this again spells out the need for a second permanent lab. So there is a meeting to take place next week, I think, with the Minister for Health and regional Oireachtas members from across the South East. There's a planned protest in Waterford on Saturday, which I encourage people to attend. But this is, as you know, a very important issue for people. And if the data seems to show, as it does, that there is a need for a second permanent lab, how can you and your government ensure that the appropriate urgency is given to this issue so that we can get the capacity into the hospital that's necessary to treat people in cardiac arrest as quickly as possible?
I discussed this briefly with Minister Halligan and Minister Harris and the other public reps from Waterford just there last week, and it does seem that the second mobile cath lab has produced results and reduced waiting times for patients who need cardiac procedures, and it would seem to me that there is a strong case to leave it in place or keep it in place while the other review, and there is a review on the location of cath labs across the country, is taking place, because if it were to be removed, then I think we would just see waiting times worsen again. So I think there is a strong case to keep the second mobile cath lab in place while work is completed on whether or not to locate a second one there on a permanent basis in Waterford. So I know Minister Harrison is certainly working on that.
Deputy Paul Murphy, on behalf of